Hey guys. Sorry it's like a minute late, but punctual as always, us. Deborah,
Hiya.
welcome to Man United Women Podcast. I'm sure you've seen a few before.
Yep,
But,
definitely.
yeah. Let's start just by talking about, I don't want it to make it all about Sunday. I want Sunday to go. I want to move forward, but talk to me about Sunday. What
Last Sunday.
Yeah, last Sunday.
I think the term I'd normally use for a game like that, I probably can't repeat, but you get those matches where nothing goes right. We could still be playing now and we're still not score.
Yeah, definitely.
I think there were aspects to the performance that can be improved, but I also think sometimes you've got to just say that's one of those collective show and move on. Yeah. Sometimes the best thing you can do with a match like that is say, right, we've had it, get out your system. Hopefully it's an isolated performance and go forwards from it.
Yeah, definitely. Hiya, John. Thanks for joining in again. Thanks for the people tuning in. Yeah, I'm with you. It's one of them, isn't it?
We can dwell on it and we can analyse it, but sometimes the best thing you can do with a game like that is just say, it's gone, it's been, there's nothing positive to take from it. So let's move forward. Let's look at the next game.
Yeah, definitely let's look at the next game. That's what I want to do here.
Yeah.
I've had a few questions probably about, early in advance, probably about Sunday. I don't want to just brush under it because I want to, it is sort of, I'm not saying, I think she appreciated that it wasn't Casey, when I say she appreciated that it wasn't our usual standards. She apologised for that, but it's, again, the clinicalness is coming up, and for whatever reason, it's not happening the way it is. I think Jess should be in there, but I think Jess came on. But yeah, she run about and she put herself out there, but there's no goals. I think it's us. Probably someone said, "Is it a wake-up call? Is us recognising our standard? We think we've been spoiled so far, and maybe really what we are is fifth or sixth. That's what we're aiming at, and fourth is exceeding.
That we're overreaching almost in fourth.
Maybe, yeah, we are, and we're sort of. Jackie even said it before. We're expecting to go into every game and win, but it's not going to happen. It's just frustrating when it was West Ham. I think are a difficult team. I'm not saying anything bad against Bristol, but they're the teams that you expect.
That's the game we should have been winning. And yeah, I get the comments about maybe we're overachieving in fourth, but we've played better than we played on Sunday. So we know we've got better performances in us. Are we overachieving in fourth? I'm not sure we are.
No, I don't think we are.
Maybe come the end of the season, maybe we'll realise that our level was sort of fifth, fourth, fifth, maybe even sixth. I think we are where we should be, fourth or fifth. But I think you've also got a lot of teams that are behind us that could put a run together. And I think what's so disappointing for me in terms of the result is it would have been great to give us a bit more leeway and a bit more breathing space looking behind us.
Yeah.
But
definitely.
We're going to get teams are going to drop points. That's always the way things go. And we just got to make sure we don't drop points where we shouldn't. And that was definitely one of those games where we shouldn't have dropped points. And I think soon after the West Ham game, they're a month apart more. Just over a month apart. We thought the West Ham game was going to be a kick up the backside.
Yeah.
Now, with the players lagging, they'd had 3.5 weeks off.
I think it was that. Bristol played. We didn't play.
No, but you've still got a long break. You've still got 3 weeks off. So you can't use that as the excuse. There wasn't the intensity there that we anticipate and that we expect and that we've seen in this team. But and this is the other thing we have to say, being in fourth has almost got us into the sense that this is where we should be, and we've forgotten that actually there's still a lot of a championship team there. Yes, some of them have WSL experience, granted, but we are still in a massive growth stage. So maybe we're spoilt, but also maybe that's the levels we've got to aspire to.
Well, above fourth. John saying, do we have an attacking coach? And I see where you're coming from, John. 2 defensive midfielders, but don't score 100 goals close to that and not say an attacking coach. But Fiona, she messaged me 2 days ago.
Okay.
And I see Fiona Lynch in there as well. Thanks for joining in. I don't know if it's the same Fiona. You know what? Fiona who comes, I don't know if she's Fiona Lynch. Anyway, she just says, in case she forgets, what substitutions would you have made against Bristol? If we're in the same position again this season, who would be your impact subs? For me, I'm going to answer my side. I'll let you go. I would have made exactly the substitutions that were made. The only thing I might have done is instead of taking LJ off, I would have kept LJ on and put her on with Jess and brought off Bender or brought off Hayley Ladd. But you don't need 2 people sitting. That's how I feel.
I'd have taken Martha off. I'd have changed formation. I'd have had 3 at the back. You've got both Turners and Abby Mack. Let's put them at the back. And Bristol weren't offering a lot in attack. So we could have afforded to have somebody else. I wouldn't have taken LJ off because I think she can still unlock defences. And we know what she's capable of. But I would have loved to have seen Jess given the freedom to run, because there's nothing greater when you watch football than to just watch a team attack at pace. And I would have really loved us to have had the freedom to just go at them and to have had the players rather than, let's stick to our 4-3-3, because that wasn't working. We weren't breaking them down.
No, I agree.
I'd have taken off Martha and left. Yeah, I'd have taken off Martha, left LJ on.
I see what a worry was, though, because I've even said it. Listen, I predicted that Ebony goal. I predicted it.
You said it.
But I thought we'd at least score a lot more than what we did. But I predicted that Ebony would run us and would score. And it's sad state that I don't know, but to me, she was worried about that happening again. So in the way I see where John's coming from, is she too worried about Ebony? Forget about Ebony and let's do our own thing.
I think that's ultimately what, sort of with half an hour to go, I'd have thrown caution to the wind and I'd have said, you know what, they're not going to offer a lot. If they catch us on the break, if we're going to get beat 2-0, then at least let's go for it. And I'd have gone 3 at the back and I would have just gone for it. Because we were breaking them down.
Yeah, JB's Lauren needed to go off. She was on a yellow and was angry.
That's the only thing. My brother was next to me and he was saying she's going here if she's not careful, because she's got that side of a game. She can get niggly. But
Lauren can do things that in that team can't do. Lauren can pick the ball up and just score. So I think a player like that you should never bring off unless there's valid reasons. Yeah,
maybe they did think that she was chancing getting a second yellow. Or it happened this season.
Yeah. But if you can, I'd leave her on. I don't care.
Yeah.
Saying City women lost their manager. We've all seen it. Well, if you haven't,
Nick
left to be an assistant at New York. I'm a bit surprised, but people have been saying for a long time he needed to go. It's going stale at City. And if anything, I don't think it's a boost for us. It is. If we were playing them next week, I think it would be. He's still going to be the coach. I think it's a boost for that. I don't know. It's one of them. Let's see how it works.
It's who they bring in next. And it's what they want from that team in terms of, is it a manager who's going to come in and have an idea of who they want to bring in, who they want to get rid of? The timing of it seems odd. He's going at the end of Feb. Yes,
he's still going to be playing our game. he's still going to be there. They're going to want to win that last derby for him.
Yeah.
Let's not think this is a boost for us. It's a boost for them.
I think that his last game is going to be at home to Arsenal. So the team's going to get up for that. But I find the timing a bit odd. I don't know if there'd been rumours or not. Certainly, I wasn't aware of anything. It seemed from a lot of the Twitter talk today that it was just coming out of the blue. But yeah, he's moved to one of the affiliate clubs. He's gone to New York. So not the worst place to go to, let's be completely honest. But yeah, he's gone to be the assistant there. So the big question for me is, why now? Was he pushed? Yeah. Did he jump? Was he offered this move? In which case, what does that say about the job he's doing with the women's team? Yeah. Maybe it'll come out. Who knows? But it's
all in house, isn't it? So he's gone from one city to the other city. It's just a bit. I don't know if it's. I don't know. I mean, what does it say? Like you say, were they thinking about doing it? But he's a pretty good coach, so they want to keep him.
He stayed within the City family because they've got. I think they've got Melbourne as well. So the slightly warmer climes he could have gone to. I know there's other clubs, but I also wonder what statements it makes about women's football. You've gone from being a manager, and now you're going to be somebody's assistant, and you're going to be an assistant to a guy who wasn't exactly pulling up trees when he was at Celtic. So
who's their manager?
Ronnie Daly. I always mispronounce his name. He was the Celtic manager, Delia
or something. Yeah,
I always get it wrong. But he's the manager at New York, and he's gone to be number 2 there. So
unless he's been promised number 1 as a men's, you never know. Do that there for a year to go well. We'll give you Melbourne or something. You never know.
Yeah, or maybe he's just going to bide his time now until after the Euros.
Yeah, hopefully that's what we all want. People are saying in the comments, it's predictable. It's what they would have done. But I want to go to like Christian. I think it's all been said, and I will go back to a lot of this, in other podcasts about her lineup. But I think, come out and said you can't keep your shirt after playing like that. So I think there will be changes, whether it's a lineup change, whether it's formation. I think there's just going to be changes. Yeah.
I think it needs freshening up, maybe. But the great one is that we never know what's gone on in the last week to get that team to be chosen. We know that's been the regular first 11, but maybe some players weren't as fit as could have been. I know there's a lot of sickness bugs going around places, so it needs freshening up, but hopefully we've got the personnel to make the right decision for that.
Yeah. I've got a question a couple of hours ago now. Shay, hope it's all going well with the baby. But do you think Katie or Jackie should be playing in a more advanced role, seeing they sit too deep? I've always said this about Katie, but I think she does sit too deep. But then that seems to be her role. I don't know. I would say a bit more forward. But I think definitely when Katie came off and Jackie played in there and was running at people, she looked really good and she was setting up a lot. And maybe that's what we'll see. Jackie in there with Hayley.
Yeah.
Up a bit. Just go for it. That's what I want to see the girls do. Go for it.
It wasn't a game on Sunday that we needed people sitting deep anyway. Like I said, we could have gone for it, I thought. So I think both Katie and Jackie could have gone forward a lot more on Sunday. Certainly that last half hour, we should have just been going at them.
Yeah.
And I know
we should have been going at them. From the minute they scored, we should have been going at them. That's what I think.
We started well, and then
I think they're going to go at them. Liverpool, they're just going to go at them.
I hope we start fast, and I hope this is
a derby now, and this is where passions are going to come. And I think, the way it was at Leigh, they know how us fans feel about this.
Yeah, my only concern, and it's something I've thought during the week, we don't seem to respond well to going a goal down or to conceding a goal.
Yeah, we don't.
Think how the Everton game, because we came straight back. But whenever we've conceded, I think heads have dropped. And we've struggled to get going again. Whereas you want that immediate response. We've been slow to respond. And I am taking the Everton game out because I think we came back so quickly, it didn't matter. You'd always win a different game. But consider the West Ham game. We started like a train. They came straight back at us, deflated us. They went, when they equalised to go 2-2, we had, it's a funny game anyway, we had nothing left. The Arsenal goal, obviously take that out because it was right at the end of the game, but we didn't respond well at the Etihad. Certainly the second half, we weren't as good as the first half. So I think there's got to be something in how we respond if we concede in games. When we concede, it's going to happen. So you need someone to grab the game, I think. And we've got enough mature heads in the team, but maybe they need to be a bit more assertive.
Yeah, people are saying now, Jonathan has said, is Casey in a comfort zone? And I mean,
maybe the players know as well.
You don't know, but I think the way she said after that game, I thought she was going to cry.
Her comments, you know what? I loved seeing them because you could tell that mattered. And she could have taken the easy way out on that. She could have said, yeah, we weren't great today, but made the usual excuses. She owned that. She said, it's my fault. I've got to look at what I did, how I prepared that team. And she's owned that. And I know people will say talk is cheap, but she didn't need to say it.
Yeah.
Is she in a comfort zone? Maybe she was, and that's going to shake her out of it. Maybe she wasn't, and it was just one of those days because everybody seemed to be off their game on Sunday. Sometimes you get games where you've got 3 or 4 players who are off, and the rest of the team can get you through it. It was tough to pick somebody who was playing well on Sunday. They were trying, but they weren't. It just wasn't coming off.
I just think it's just. I think everyone is a bit in the comfort zone. Coming back, chilled. Everyone's ready. It's against the bottom of the league.
We have played differently had it been against a higher opposition.
Yeah. I think this one, though, even though Liverpool are bottom, it's Liverpool.
It's Liverpool.
You can't really lose. You know what I mean? You can't. Because this, I think it's going to be electric. I don't know what you think.
I hope it will be. We know the numbers we're going to bring.
Yeah.
Don't know what a standard Liverpool home crowd is. I hope that they're bringing numbers.
Yeah.
I think it could be a good atmosphere. I expect it to be.
Yeah.
There's always edge. There's always needle between United and Liverpool, whatever level it's at. Men, women, seniors, 21s, 18s, whatever. There's always an element of something with it.
Yeah. I mean, it's going to be electric, but it's going to be an electric in terms of it's going to be different from what usual women's football fans probably are used to, because it's not.
Yeah.
I mean, hopefully, I've spoken to people at Tranmere. Hopefully, we're going to have behind the goal. That's what we want to have.
Yeah.
A lot of people in the Barmy. I mean, a lot of people have messaged me saying that that's what they want. Because as well, I think it would be better to hang flags there. But I've been to the stadium when Sheffield played, and definitely behind that thing, they've got there's seats that are like covered over, and if we could just hang our flags there and just stand there, I just think it'll make it even more electric, especially when they're shooting towards that goal. But it's just about knowing that it's not the men's game, it's the women's game, and
this is something we're learning.
Yeah,
we're learning as fans, and I know I've said it before, and I'll probably have to say it again. We're going to get it wrong. We have got it wrong, but we're learning, and we know what we can and what we shouldn't be doing. And yes, there's an edge between United and Liverpool, but
I want to keep that edge too, because
but it's got to be
controlled. We've heard comments again.
Controlled.
What's that?
It's got to be controlled. That edge has got to be controlled.
Yeah, keep that edge, but I want it. Yeah, Matt's saying they'll be extra motivated against us. Of course they will.
Yeah, I expect them to.
That's what everyone wants.
Look, if nothing else, last week that winner Bristol getting that win against us has put Liverpool back into the bottom. So yeah, they're desperate. They're desperate, and that pitch could be a leveller. It doesn't look a great pitch at Tranmere, so we're not going to be able to play the game that maybe we're currently training for. So there's other matters, but we've got to keep the atmosphere without all of the aggro.
Yeah. And
we know that.
Everyone knows that. Jack's just saying, don't want to be accused. But listen, you can't control everyone. That's what I'll say. So the amount of people that are going to be there, and it'll be their first ever time, and they're going to do what they want to do. And it's about everyone being conscious that it's going to, and but in the most of all, just give it them. That's what it's about, beating the Scouts. And give it them.
It's one of the best feelings in football as a United fan. Beating Liverpool, beating City.
Give it them, like we mean it, right?
Yeah. But get behind our girls.
Vic, that's the main thing. Passion for the girls. Vicky's going to be crying over anything that we sing. Yeah. So it doesn't matter. Yeah.
I think it's about us supporting our girls rather than running others down, because we know it's a sensitive relationship. So let's not give anybody any reason to be negative about us. Let's be positive about the girls. Let's give them all the love that we do every game, but it's all about the girls. It's not about anybody else. It's about our girls, and it's about our team, and it's about us supporting them.
Yeah, and they're going to be expecting that big atmosphere. And I think when we played Everton, it showed when it was that electric and we were behind that goal and they were attacking it. And we were like, press! And everyone was screaming, press. And she ran and she pressed it, and boom, goal.
Yeah.
And then that was the way it was throughout it. Even when the ball went over Abby's head and that girl was running through one-on-one, I think that intimidated her.
Yeah.
And she missed it. And Mary saved it, and then everyone's celebrating.
You and I have been at a Devs game where the Everton keeper, before a penalty shootout, said, I don't want them there. I don't want them behind the goal.
Singular.
So it distracts people.
One person, singular. She couldn't handle it. She told me, shut up.
All right. I was trying not to make you out to be the bad guy there. But yeah, for you.
And the keeper said, stop. And I said, who the hell? Or calm down. I said, I ain't calming down for nothing because this is serious.
Not the first time the keeper's told you to behave, though, is it?
Yeah. But listen, we ain't calming down for nothing because Liverpool versus Man United is a serious fixture.
Yeah. Yeah.
Our girls know it.
As a fan, it means so much more than 3 points. It means everything to us.
Liverpool is a big fixture, and our girls already knew it, right?
Yes.
They now know it. Liverpool girls too, because they fought, but they now know how serious this fixture is. So they know what we're coming with. So it's not a surprise to them now. But let's just do our thing, like you said.
Yeah.
See there, Natalie and Deborah. Did you see? I think it's Jack anyway, because it's Reaper, 2004. Did you see the article about VAR?
Casey saying we don't want VAR. Or what she's actually said is money could be better spent in the game. I think there's a bigger issue about the effectiveness and the use of VAR that is almost a sideshow here. In terms of what Casey's saying, money invested in the game where it should be used, she's absolutely right. We have massive issues with the infrastructure, some of the grounds that are used, the support that's given to some of the players, medical support in some ways, we know, the referees. VAR is way, way in the future.
Yeah.
If you can afford VAR, there's so many other things you should be buying in before that. So I think it's right.
Yeah, I don't know if this is the case, but it makes me think, what journalist is asking this, right?
Yeah.
I'm sure they go great, but are they hearing us chant VAR and thinking, and we're just chanting it as a joke? That's what a lot
We're
of people
just saying to one of our guys, probably Mark, get on MUTV and go and tell us if it actually was. That's it.
Yeah.
We're not saying, whoa, there should be a monitor at the side and the referee should run to it. Or
we're just saying, be better. Be
yeah,
a lot better. And I think as well, the way that everyone was shouting, like time wasting, where's the card ref? And the FA there, you know.
Yeah.
She would have been, oh, you can deal with a hostile environment. That's a tick in your box. But we're angry at the standards.
Yes.
And I turned around once and said, get the better referees on the pitch. You know?
Standard of refereeing isn't great.
So poor.
It's one of the issues that will hold the game back. So it's not a case of, well, the refs on the pitch aren't great, so let's have VAR.
Yeah.
We should be looking at improving the quality of the refs that are managing these games.
And I think people are taking the Barmy Army very seriously. Oh, you shouted VAR, so you want it. No, I shouted VAR.
I'm going to shout £1 million and then maybe someone will.
Yeah. I just think
if it was that easy, whatever we shout, we get. My word, where do we start with that one?
2-0 harder. Bring it.
No, you've already told the gaffer that one.
Yeah. See, I've already told her. There's a lot of people coming to the WSL. I don't really know her, but she's a Matilda Ford or something, and she was in the NWSL, and apparently she's coming to. Apparently she's coming to.
Everybody else will be. We're not expecting any incomings.
No.
In this window, and I'm okay with that.
No. Yeah, I'm okay. I'm saying, look at everyone around us, above us, Everton below us, improving. It's going to be a big summer, and I think, like we sort of touched on, our expectations. Like,
that's when you're saying, what is your level?
Yeah.
Who you're bringing in is suggesting what your level is. Are you bringing in players for a mid-table battle, or are you bringing in players that you think can get you into the Champions League? And ideally, we want to be bringing in players to get us into the Champions League, particularly when the third place, in future, when that becomes available. We're not looking for a mid-table battle. If we can, hopefully, we're aiming higher. But who we bring in will dictate what people genuinely think our level is. And I think maybe at the moment, I think maybe we're pitching ourselves mid-table. And that's why we're overachieving slightly. But that's not to say we can't get better. We can't stick where we are. But it's who comes in now. Can they improve on what we've got? And I think there is room for improvement in certain areas. I think we can also get a bit more depth in the squad. One thing that worries me is if we get injuries to certain players, I'm not sure there's cover. So I think that depth of squad is another area that we may need to look at. We've got a load of games coming up. We've got the cups kicking in. So the FA Cup, we've got the Conti back. Once we're going to midweek weekends, that's going to work through the squad a little bit. And it's whether we've got the other players outside of the first choice who can...
It's the quality and the depth, isn't it? That's what it is. I think we do have the depth, but are they quality to come in and replace what we have?
Yeah.
I mean, I even think some of the devs going to come in. I hope that they do.
Yeah, I'd like to see...
It might be a bit too early, but I think we've gone and watched a lot, bringing in new devs as well. I like to see what happens with this cup now. But if we get someone like in the National League, I'd like to see Maria come up. I'd like to see Rebecca
We
May.
were all hoping for a lower level team, just so that we could put some of these players out. Yeah, that'd be great.
I'm sorry. I know a lot of people have been saying it, but I'm sorry. That does not happen. It's not. It's past luck now. I already know that they knew that the game at the Etihad was scheduled. They'd agreed.
Yeah, that was planned. That was planned. This was planned. Everything's planned.
They was planned. This FA Cup draw is planned, and I think we could
change the rules on the Conti so that
that we're getting knocked out. It's such a. I don't. Well, we're not getting knocked out. Let's.
Well, Natalie, but as a fan,
yeah,
I'm almost jaded.
Another
derby.
Yeah.
Another early, big. In the Conti, you got a chance of drawing them because it's a north-south thing. You know, you didn't play them twice in the league, but to get them straight away in the FA Cup.
I know, it's just.
Whilst the men have also got supposedly 2 legs against them, but I think it's only really 1, and that's done now. So it I won't say it's tough to get up for it because it's a derby. You go into Keb, but it's not ideal.
No.
You'd rather meet them later on when there's more on the line.
We were both at the Durham game and the FA hates United. Listen, I don't think it's about hating United. I think it's about milking it and getting people through the door. They know, even United know, that fixture is going to attract a lot of people. It's going to be heavily.
I tell you what will annoy the FA, I suspect. I suspect what will annoy them is that we've not moved at any stage to have a game at Old Trafford, which I'm completely with. I don't want us play. I've spoken about this. I don't want us going to Old Trafford. I don't think it's a good move. I think there are people that want us to play there because it's a cheap way to get to see a game at Old Trafford. It will not enhance, I don't think, the crowd week in, week out beyond it. But I think they want a game. They want the name. They want the FA would love that. So I say, let's never do it just to annoy them. But I don't think there's a benefit to United, and I don't think there's a benefit to the team. And if that's the way it goes, that's the way we go. That's my belief in it.
Yeah.
But I think the FA would think, oh, maybe they could fit this game in. And
to be fair, they're clashing it.
Well, the men. Potentially, the men.
They're clashing it with the men.
Yeah, but our men are away.
I know.
They could play this. Good.
Yeah.
The police. I don't think the police would allow it anyway because City are at home. So I don't know.
At home the same day when the derby is. So,
sorry.
City men are at home when the derby is.
Because it's FA Cup for both, isn't it? That weekend. Yeah. Pretty sure. I don't know. I didn't check it actually. It's not City men enough.
If anyone wants to let us know,
let us know because clearly I didn't bother checking when
No. Matt agreeing about not playing at Old Trafford.
Yeah.
Would be only a quarter full. I think it would. I think though, City got 30,000. I think we'd probably get a bit more, but I don't want it there. I don't even want it there next season. I'm just going to be honest. I want it there when
we're selling out Lee, or when we're regularly getting 8,000 to 10,000. Great, let's have a game at Old Trafford.
That might be never. Might be never. Oh, Shane, Stato.
Go on, Stato.
Men are at home at 1 p.m. So that's it. Exactly the same time. Looking like. And we'll get blamed for that. We'll get blamed for that, even though both teams have to agree. We'll get blamed.
And I think, in terms of TV rights, you've got 2 different companies, 3 sometimes, if you've got BT, BBC. Or you've got the FA Cup and you've got the FA. There's too many different organisations. They're never going to coordinate. They're never going to say, oh, well, the women are playing, so the men can't play. It's got nothing to do with that. They are just literally looking after themselves and saying, the broadcasters want that game, BT want that, BBC want that, or whoever's broadcasting. Right, that's what you're doing. People think that the club goes, let's put it on at this time and let's not care. It's got nothing to do with the clubs.
Yeah.
So it's just one of those things that as football fans, we've got to suck it up.
Yeah. And to be fair, there I'm going to go on to our point that we were talking about, what we do as a Barmy Army. We have sat down and talked to United about it, and they don't want fixture clashing.
No.
They try to make sure that every game doesn't clash. For example, Wolves, it wasn't clashing, and they put it as a Tuesday. BT got involved. No, we want it on a Wednesday. Now it's clashing with Brighton, and there's nothing that United can do.
Next Wednesday, you've got the Devs, the men, the women. All of them are playing.
And it was the same a couple of weeks ago. You had the first team clashing with the other 23 and the Devs one as well.
Yeah, we were at the Devs, and other people have gone to the Spurs game. It's not ideal. It's pretty frustrating when you've got season tickets for both.
Yeah.
And you're having to make that choice. And it really becomes difficult because with the season ticket, although it's a cup game for the men, you have to opt in for it. So just in case people weren't sure.
Get out of it.
Well, it's FA Cup.
Yeah.
So
whether you want to win it or not.
You have no option. So you're paying for that ticket, but you won't necessarily be able to use it. But we've also, probably all of us, most by now, will have a ticket for the Brighton game. So one of those tickets isn't going to get used. You're paying money out for a ticket you can't use.
Yeah. And
that's just, but that's the way it is, unfortunately.
Yeah. And that's what, United was saying, and that's probably in a way, about season tickets. People have got them and don't turn up. We both know people who've got them, and we even told United people have got them overseas, Norway, America. It's what it is, and people don't turn up. That's why probably people have seen they're having to open the other side, the south stand, for about 10 people.
Yeah.
But to be fair, they did get it right, and it was 2000, and they held it in that
in the West. Yeah,
in the West Ham. So that must be a new thing that they're trying to do, which is better. Better having a full that end. Full,
having a proper concentration of fans. But there are we've been in discussions. We've met with people. There's so many different matters that we're talking about, working through. Some of them we're going to hit brick walls with. Some of them we're not going to get anywhere with. Others are different options to us that we didn't know we had. But there's a lot that goes on that's boring and we can't always share and sing about and brag about, I guess. But there's stuff that's going on, and we're trying to get somewhere. We're not going to be able to get what everybody wants.
Yeah.
But there's some movement somewhere.
Yeah. I think we're working with different, like I'm sure people have seen, Must are working alongside us. That's giving more clout to us, more avenues, more contacts that they have. And we're working with the FSA, Army. So there's a lot of benefits, and it only benefits you guys as a whole of Man United joining the Barmy Army, because the more, whether you sing with us, it doesn't matter. It's about all the fans being united as one and being able to approach things as one. And when we go into these things, we say, this is our members, and this is what our members want. And these are our members' numbers. But
it's that numbers we've got of having so many people, but also us all hopefully going in much the same direction. We know it's not going to be to everybody's satisfaction, and we know there's some people out there who don't like what we do. Some of those are United fans, and that's absolutely fine. But the aim for us is to give everybody the best experience they can as a basic, and there's more beyond that. But that is the basic.
Yeah, because we're not just standing on the back row chanting. We're doing a lot more than that, and you're seeing things like the wristbands, and this all helps and goes towards bigger things. Goes towards buying a coach and making sure that we can keep running them.
It's probably useful at this point to say, I know we will stand and try and sell badges, and we've got T-shirts that we try and guide people towards. There's been calendars recently. None of us have made a single penny out of this. This isn't a money-making scheme for us.
Yeah. This is sometimes you lose money because
definitely down. But that's how things go. Yeah. We are aiming to be able to fund something, whether that's a subsidised coach to Arsenal before the end of the season. That's one of the things we're aiming to do. But there is no financial benefit to any of us. This is what we are doing this for people out there.
For you. If I even point in the right direction. You fans, mate. You fans. Just looking back through some comments. John talking about the article about the difference between the women and the men's FA Cup and how much the men got paid for the third round. And it is scandalous. And let me just say this, Deb. I went to Huddersfield women last year, and I think they got in, not even this round, the fourth round, which was the one, I think even they got in the fifth round.
Okay.
They got
the fourth round coming up.
Yeah, so they got the fifth round. So they I think they beat a championship side, so that's quite good. And then a National League, they beat a championship side, then they got West Ham. And you would think a National League, a third team coming up to a big Super League team, that's going to cover them for the whole season, because it does in the men's game. If someone in League One or whatever comes up, that payday ends up covering them.
It's huge. It can be the difference sometimes in surviving or not.
And you hear about it, and it's so great. And half the gates and all this is great. And I get it, the gates aren't big, but people do turn up in bigger numbers for Super League than they do National League. And they said we got this far, we got into the fifth round, so that they must have started at like round one, maybe even before that. Got all the way there. West Ham, they ended up losing money.
Yeah.
And I couldn't believe it. How can you end up going to a Super League team and losing money? And they were like, because we have to get a train down, we had to do this, we had to accommodation, and they lost money.
Okay. A couple of things here that come to mind. The first one is what staggers me is I remember when Barclays sponsored the Super League, that it was announced would be the first time the winner of the Super League would actually get anything.
Yeah.
You could win the league, as has happened before, and you didn't get a single penny. That feels ridiculous. We know for a fact, I think, there was a team last year that we played in a cup competition who actively wanted to lose because they couldn't fund going further in the competition. And the money is not sufficient to pay travel, accommodation, wages, other expenses. You've got teams that will lose in the early stage of the FA Cup, the men's FA Cup, who will get more than the winners of the women's FA Cup. And the great big showpieces at Wembley are wonderful.
But what are you doing with that money?
They're masking the fact that the lower levels of the game, and in fact the top levels, they're not supported, they're not funded. And the fact that it's taken till now to get a sponsor for the Super League, they need to be looking at a broadcast partner that can fund, that will throw some money in as well. Because I'm not saying Sky are going to throw millions and millions in, but there doesn't seem to be the professionalism, the women's game. It doesn't seem to have, and I know we come from a men's game attitude, and I'll own that, but I feel that the men's game, yes, it's run very much like a business. It's run as a very profitable business, and providing teams don't try and exist beyond their means, there's money in the game. There's no money in the women's game, but you've got a sellout at Wembley. The FA Cup final will be very well attended. England games were some of the highest viewing figures of last year. There is an appetite there, but something's not happening.
Well, millions watched the FA Cup this year.
Yeah.
Yeah. So just, the one at City beat West Ham in. So what are they doing with this money? What are they doing with the money? I mean, I know it's probably not even in comparison, but like you say, sell out at Wembley, 11 million watching. What are they doing? Did even BBC pay for the World Cup, the Women's World Cup? Or is it who gets that money? What happens with it?
Broadcast rights are different. It depends who's paying.
Yeah,
and what
we already know that. Yeah, the FA play is free. Okay, but we already know that when it's on BT or when it's on BBC, they don't pay for it anyway.
Yeah.
And
now,
I don't understand.
That to me just smacks of somebody not believing in the product.
Yeah.
And I get you've got to put it out there to get people's interest.
Mm-hmm.
But it's also, to me, saying we're not going to take it seriously.
Well, apparently the deal is up now.
Yeah.
That free deal. So let's see who bids for what. And I just think you've just got to say, take it or leave it now. And I think they're putting it out free from the FA player. So we don't need BT as well to put it out.
Yeah.
And so if you want to put it out, where's what you're paying us? BBC, if you want to carry on putting out this, that, and the other, what you're paying us?
Yeah.
So
the appetite is there. People just need to take it seriously, I think.
Yeah.
And that's all the way through the game. That's not just the FA. There's a lot of journos, I think, that they're having a private party sometimes. And I think a lot of the fans, they want it to themselves. And we know this from a conversation we've had with the FSA. There is a sense of ownership or protection that some people have about the women's game.
Yeah.
Which is great that they feel so passionate about it. But I get a kick out of seeing the United players arrive in decent cars. And I think to myself, good on you girls, you're earning a good wage. You should be. They need to be rewarded. I don't want them, we know last year Liverpool, they wouldn't even fund beds for their players. This isn't what the sport needs. The game needs people to take it seriously and to believe in it. And only then will other people do so.
Yeah.
That's my rant, though.
No, I agree. I just think, grassroots, John's saying grassroots, all levels need sorting financially. Otherwise, it'll go downhill fast. And I think, Arsenal, Chelsea buying Sam Kerr, it's all great. But if you haven't got a Birmingham to play or a Liverpool to play, then, it's just, like you say, closed shop. Yeah. And obviously, we all here want United to be going out and buying the best players. We know that they can, and we know they have that in them. But I mean, they have this salary cap, and you think, right, they've got this salary cap, and it's based on who's got the highest attendance or whatever.
Yeah.
So how would Chelsea then able to go out and buy Sam Kerr? And I get it, they probably had the highest in the WSL. But we have more than them. How come we can't go out and buy Sam Kerr?
There's individual,
but how come we can't go out and pay top wages? How come we can't do that? So it's not really based on that, then, is it? It's based on.
Well, Casey said she doesn't have the wage bill that people think she has. But I mean, that Sam Kerr deal has taken a long time to happen. I think it's been a good couple of years in the making. So these deals aren't happening easily, and there's probably dialogue that's going on now or did go on in the summer about our signings for next summer. So we know the Jackie transfer was months in the planning. It wasn't just that we got to April and someone said, "Oh, let's see who's available." Excuse me. So the wage bill should always be kept in line with incomings, so that we don't have situations like we had with Portsmouth years ago, like with Bury, unfortunately, just down the road from us. Nobody wants to see that happen. And yes, they should manage themselves, but maybe there's got to be a bit more leeway as well. But they're right about grassroots. The money's not there. The money's not there. The funding isn't there. The support isn't there.
No.
I don't know if the will to do it is either.
But I think it needs to be more than people, like you just said, the support isn't there. But it's not things like, who I've been seeing a lot, Watford tweeting a lot from their main account, but the women's team, and their women's team are third tier in the league, and they're probably going to go up to the championship this year.
Yeah.
But they've been doing a lot of one club things. So Troy Deeney's been with Helen Ward, and she's a big Welsh international.
Okay.
So I think fair enough, they don't want to, the wages, like you say, and if there's not a lot of people going than this, but it's about putting more money on and getting more people. And if you can't get more people, put it out there on your main account.
Yeah.
Tweet about it on your main account. Do different things. Tell get Deeney and you get both captains out there together.
One of the things that really annoys me,
very well supported, because it's the thing based on what they're doing.
Yeah,
they're lucky.
We know there's an appetite for women's football, for the game, and we know that because we didn't have anything 2 years ago, and suddenly it's ruling our lives.
Yeah.
So we know that there are people out there, I was one of them, who might not have had that much interest and now actually care massively.
Yeah.
So you can motivate those numbers, you can get those people, but you need to give them a product they can access, they can see, and they can get at, because there's too much that's.
Because I came from a group. My story is like, and I'm sure. We could say yours was someone else told me about it. Someone else pushed me to go to it, and it was someone in my social group who sort of said, "Come on, let's do this," and I didn't know anything about it. I sort of made, when they announced it, I maybe saw it, but someone was not pressuring me, but come on, bang, I did it. That was it. And I'm the Barmy Army one. I'm number one, and someone else told me to come down, and that was it. Yeah.
Yeah, but you're Woso now.
Yeah, and now look at me, fucking
hell. Now look at you, multi-team now.
Yeah, 2 team.
2, 3, probably now.
No, only 2. Yeah, Sheffield. Can I go and watch Sheffield from
Leicester? They're not.
2 team for my little baby Palmer.
Yeah, you've got to. People have got to see it, and an FA Cup final and England internationals are great on BBC, so that kids, all kids can watch it. But why have we not got BBC showing games on a Sunday afternoon? Yeah. Not behind the red button, because how many people just sit there and flick through the channels? You don't go to see what's behind the red button. No.
Well, BBC One on an afternoon, people will be like, right, boom, you probably get bigger numbers than are on.
Look, well, and I'll say this, there are men in my family who would never, ever have watched an England international. They would never have watched the Women's FA Cup without a negative comment. But they will always say, when are the girls playing? Is the match on TV? And they will discuss the game afterwards with me. So she played well. I think she's had a good start. And it's taken people who would normally have thought, not interested, don't want to know. But you get it out there, people might actually take some interest.
Yeah. When it's your badge, you're always interested in what's going on. And that's it.
It could be the typical team. Still go and watch them, maybe.
Yeah. Always interested. Whether people want to say this and no, people are always interested because it's your badge. At the end of the day, they're wearing the same shirt, and I'll always be interested. Deborah, we're gonna show something that you want to add. We've been talking. I mean, we've not really. I'm trying to look for see if there's any comments. Just people saying Casey about being in the comfort zone, but like we've sort of said, I don't think so.
You know what? I think we've got to treat it as an isolated match. Hopefully. Yeah. Well, you can have a full inquiry if something continues. Let's hope to God it doesn't.
Yeah.
Liverpool.
Well, next week I've got Dave Pritt, which is going to be a big one because me and him don't agree on anything, and a lot of people haven't been agreeing on Twitter. So we're just going to talk about we can disagree because I don't want to see that MU Women hashtag turn like the MUFC hashtag is.
Yeah.
And I think it's a bit toxic, the men. And I think people will say, you're stupid because I want Ollie out and you want Ollie in. And I just think, who cares, mate?
I think there are massive issues within the men's team and the club hierarchy. Yeah. And I hope to God that the women don't get tainted by that. Maybe by association it ultimately will happen, but let's hope that's not the case.
But the most important thing is Derby Day, Sunday. Whether you're watching on the FA player, whether you're watching on your telly, whether you're coming down, no, the men are playing Saturday, so get everyone down on the Sunday.
Yeah, and be positive and support them and get behind United. It's not about let's run Liverpool down. Let's get behind our team. Let's get behind United. But there's just one issue.
What?
Are we going to wear that snake kit?
Oh, probably.
No.
Cursed, but the men have won in it, so maybe it's not as cursed as we think.
Horrible.
The men have won in it. The under 23 girls have won in it. Maybe it's not as cursed as we think.
It's not nice.
It's
horrible.
It's just horrible. No one wants to see that, but get black on. Get red versus black. Yes. We haven't worn black yet, so let's make it this one. We haven't, have we?
No.
So I think
Stats will tell you. Shane will appear in a minute and go, actually, we played in such and such. Or, no, you're right. Come on, Shane. Don't let me down. Come on.
Shane just popped up. I pray we wear the black kit.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, people are fed up of Ollie. And John's just said a really nice comment. At the moment, he's enjoying watching the girls more. Women get up and just get on with it. John, hope I see you down there, mate. Getting behind the girls. If not, tune in on the FA player. The women haven't worn it, so let's get black on. Yes. Red versus black. I can't wait for it. Boom. Deborah, Sunday. Everyone, Sunday. Like I said, Barmy Army are working for you. So hopefully, I've not heard back yet, but I've been told good things. We might have behind the goal. Can't wait. We're closing up shop. Thanks a lot, everyone, for watching. I really appreciate it. Keep tuning in. Like you said, it's turned into a weekly thing. That's one thing that I just started. It's happening every week. I love it. Can't wait. More people want to be guests. Let me know if you ever want to be a guest. We'll have to sort something out. But I hope to have you back on again, Deborah. Right. See you later. See you later, everyone.